What's up, guys? I wanted to take a minute and talk a little bit about success and talk a little bit about people's definition of success. So I know that there's a whole slew of different definitions and people chiming in with their opinions and kind of what they think is the definition of success and what they determine is the best definition for success. And I'm going to take a minute and thank the sponsors: Kenzies Optics, Riton Optics, Taurus USA, Crossbreed Holsters, Canic for donating so much stuff. Thank the sponsors, guys. I can't thank you guys enough if you take a minute to just thank the sponsors, whether that's in an Instagram post, down here in the comments, or wherever you do your social media. So I get a lot of people that come up to me and talk a lot about success and being successful, and I've been around a lot of people that like to throw that around, like what is success, and I get fascinated with it. I spend a lot of time talking about it with people, and the definition varies from person to person, and that's what's so exciting about talking about the topic. So I recently had lunch with a really good friend of mine, and I've had, a little bit of time to sit back and kind of chew on a lot of different things, and I've spent a lot of time sitting, listening to a lot of folks. So what it boiled down to for me is this whole definition and this whole understanding of success. And it was kind of interesting to me because I hadn't really thought about what everything boiled down to, or what was basically the teardown of all these conversations you have with many, many folks. And if you watch a lot of podcasts out there, you listen to whatever you listen to, a lot of Jocko, a lot of, Joe Rogan, a lot of different people out there, it really starts to all boil down to is these people, these folks, their roadmap to success. And what is their roadmap to success in life? And I am very fascinated with everybody in this planet having a unique definition of what is success to them. And as I've gotten older, I've come to really appreciate the different definitions that come along with success and talking about success. So it's very, very fascinating to me. It's very interesting. And I think that a lot of people have such varying definitions. They have such varying viewpoints. And I find that so fucking cool. It's so cool. And it's really cool to see play out. And you sit with folks, and I had, like I said, lunch with a friend, and we were talking, and we were rapping, and we were just going back and forth, and we were talking about a whole bunch of different things, and it just kind of popped in my head that at the end of the day, what it boils down to is doing what you love and doing what makes you happy and doing what is going to make you feel the most excitement and feel the most alive. And I think a lot of people miss that. And I think a lot of people don't have fun with their job or fun with their life or fun with, whatever the template is, or whatever the day-to-day grind is that you're stuck in. And this isn't meant to be a rah-rah speech. It's not meant to be, I'm not Andy Frisella. It's not meant to be that. This is just more understanding what people are getting at when they talk about things, the way that they talk about them and the way that they approach things and why they got into things. And it's the why that finds me at the place I'm at. It's the why. And a lot of times the why boils down to is that this particular thing, this piece, fits into their success plan. And it fits into their success whatever you want to call it, you know, their success path, their journey. I know everybody uses a different term, whether you're Tony Robbins or whoever you are out there. Everybody uses a different term. So whatever that term is, whatever it is that you have in your head, whether it's your family, whether it's your loved ones, whether it's something that motivates you. You know, my mother used to always say, like, I did it for my kids, or I did it for the, whatever it is that makes you happy. That definition of success is going to be what drives you to do a lot of things that you do in life. And what I want to show people, or what I want to give people, and I think that this gets lost in translation. I think people forget this. So I looked up the definition of success. I was just curious. And success is the favorable or prosperous termination of attempts or endeavors, the accomplishment of one's goals, the attainment of wealth, possessions, honor, or the like. The performance or achievement that is marked by success as the attainment of honors. A person or thing that has had success as measured by attainment of goals, wealth, etc. And then they have obsolete, the outcome. So I think that that's really important, guys. I think that that's really something you need to pay close attention to. And I think a lot of people lose sight of what success is. Now, I can speak for me, and I can say my definition of success over the years has evolved. It's changed. And I think for a lot of people it's changed. In the beginning, when you're young, you want to be good at sports, or you want to be this, or you want to be that, or whatever it is. And I think in time it continues to evolve, and you reach a point where you start to put new definitions on success. And as you have a family, and as you have a evolving life, I think other variables come in to play. I know people that are extremely happy walking their dog every day. They make a very, very menial income. They're not, but what they do on a day-to-day basis is where they get their fulfillment or enjoyment. It's their day-to-day fun, if you will. And they get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And they're happy. And then for some people, they're never happy. They never reach a level of happiness. I think it was said best, you know, people say it's lonely at the top. And you hear that a lot. And those are extremely focused, driven, dialed-in people that tend to have a little bit of unhappiness no matter what they do. And no matter what they push themselves to do. That becomes, you know, a major issue. And it can cause problems in relationships and problems in life with where they're at and what they're doing and just in general. So I think success, the definition evolves and changes, and it really causes people to go through a myriad of emotions and a myriad of changes, and good, bad, or indifferent. You know, so I think success is one of those things, guys, that you have to take a look at and do a lot of looking in the mirror and do a lot of self-analysis and figure out what's going to motivate you and what's going to drive you and what's going to be a contributor to that definition and what's going to take you to the next level. I don't know the answer to it. I genuinely don't know the answer to it. I'm not sitting here someone saying I have millions of dollars, listen to me, and that's my definition of success. I have millions of followers, and that means I'm successful. I have, I've accomplished a lot of things. I've traveled. I've met a lot of great people. I would say the closest definition to success I can come to for me is my relationships. There are times in my life I've had some of my relationships threatened, and that to me was a very difficult time and a very difficult situation, and that caused me to feel a certain way. I don't, it's one of those things. I don't know the perfect answer. I don't have the perfect answer. I think you have to find it. I know for me, like I said, it's relationship driven. I love having quality relationships with people. I love giving back to folks. I love giving back to anything and everything that I can give back to and put my heart and soul into those things. And it means a lot to me. It means the world to me to be able to give to any of those people in any way, shape, or form that I can. But if you have the opportunity, to pursue your definition of success, and it takes you outside of your career, or it takes you outside of your structure, don't be afraid to do it. In today's day and age, you can do so much even on a part-time basis or on a sometimes basis. It doesn't have to be an all-the-time thing. You can start traveling a little bit. You could do a podcast. You could do a website. You can do a side business, a side hustle. You can do anything you want to do within the framework that you have, because we have access to such beautiful technology and we have access to such beautiful resources. So take advantage of them. Use them to your advantage. Don't let them sit idly by. I think that there's more to it. I just don't have all the answers. I don't have all the definitions. I think that everybody can pursue a great opportunity, especially today. So if you want to start a surfboard company and you're working in an office 9 to 5, you have the opportunity to go do that. I know for me, I love being around the relationships and the people. And one of my, I joke he's a friend, but he's also a quasi-mentor. Bruce Cardenas at Quest, he, Bruce has been a relationship guy for a very, very long time. And I love that. I think a lot of those guys that are relationship driven create such tremendous opportunity for themselves, for their family, because their outreach, their reach is so far and can be so far. I never in a million years would have imagined I would have been able to go to the places I've been and meet the people I've met. It's been a tremendous blessing, and it's been an honest to goodness, huge opportunity in my life to be able to pursue the goals that I want to pursue and to be able to go after the things that I want to go after. And it takes time. It's taken me years to figure it out to this point. I've been fortunate with the blessings and the people I have around me that I've been able to pursue those things, and I've been able to find those things. And I've been able to get to a place where I understand what success means to me, or means to my world. So I think, it's important to understand that you can have failure. And again, I'm not trying to sound preachy here. I'm not trying to sound like something, I'm not. I think it's super important, guys, that when you pursue whatever opportunities you pursue in life, that they fit inside your construct of what you define as success. And whatever that construct is, whether it's career, whether it's life, whether it's, pursuit of happiness, whether it's your kids, whatever it is, you have to find that definition. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that. And they start to make their definition of success somebody else's definition of success. And they start to make it something that it's really not. And that's where it can get a little bit dicey, as I've said. So don't fall into that trap. Don't make your definition somebody else's definition, and don't make it about somebody else's gain or goal or what they're trying to do. Make it about you, and make it about what you want to pursue. Okay? Make it about what makes you happy. Make it about what makes the successful failure. Make it about whatever it is that you feel is going to take you to the next level. And stay there. Stay there and grow. Stay there for as long as you can. And I promise you, over time, you're going to start to really dial in what you feel is the best definition for success. And I think in the end, you'll be very pleased what you find and very fulfilled from what you find. I've been lucky. As I said, I've traveled the world. I've seen a bunch of things. I've got to travel this country, go to great shows, talk to many, many people. I've seen many cycles of people through competitive industries. I've worked in sales. I've worked in marketing my entire life. And as a byproduct of that, I've got to meet some really great folks. And I've got to press palms with some really great folks. And that to me is worth everything. And I think what it boils down to in the 1,000-pound, million-pound elephant in the room is when you reach the end, whenever that time is, you're going to sit back, and I believe this. I can't base it on anything. I can base it on loved ones I know I've lost that I've had deeper conversations with. You're going to ask yourself the question, did I do all I could? Did I do everything I could? Did I pursue everything I wanted to pursue? Is my heart full? Did I do all these things? And am I happy now? I don't have the answer to that for everybody. I wish I did. It just really makes sense that you understand failure, you understand success, you understand relationships, and you understand where that all fits for you. I think each person is very different. And I think each person's definition is going to be different. But we live in a screwy time. We live in a time and place where people would rather record somebody getting beaten up because they think it's a viral video than go and help that person. People would rather video somebody doing something horrible to somebody or put somebody down. And I have to believe that we're better than that. I have to believe that the people we follow and pay attention to are better than that. And I can't stress enough, one of the biggest negators of success is negativity. And putting negativity around you and putting negative vibes around you and putting people around you that are going to make you feel a certain way is not good. And it's not healthy. And it's something you have to be very careful of. It's something you have to be very self-aware of. And it's not something that I advise or I suggest. And you have to be very careful of it. So when you're pursuing whatever your dream is or whatever your dream pursuit is, make sure you follow these few steps. 1, surround yourself with support. Okay? Support and positivity. Positive reinforcement. 2, keep your circle tight. You don't need 500 friends. You may post on Instagram or social media 100 people, but you don't need 100 friends. Keep your circle of trust really tight. Keep your relationships really tight. Okay? 3, ignore all negativity. Ignore all negativity. Okay, there's a difference between negativity and criticism or critique. We have our friends to keep us in check, and we have our friends to keep us in a certain place and in a certain environment mentally. But we don't need someone to tell us constantly that we're wrong. That's not right. I would say next, and maybe most important, is you need to understand where you're going. And you need to understand where the beginning, middle, and end is. You don't have to know it perfectly, and you're going to make mistakes along the way. But you have to understand the beginning, middle, and end. Okay? How does this play out? If you go to school to be a personal trainer, you have to know that the end game is you're going to probably personal train. And if you're not going to be happy with that end game, be careful how you pursue it. If you want to be the best at something, you have to continuously continue to put, and this is something I've said over and over again, subject matter experts around you. Why do people want to be around certain folks? It's because they're subject matter experts. So they put these people around them that are SMEs because they want to be around that contagious feeling, whatever industry they're in, that's going to help them. So make sure you have a good cadre of SMEs to look at. Now, those aren't going to be people necessarily in your circle. You know, they're not going to be people that are necessarily, you know, around you all the time. But they're voices in your head. And by voices in your head, they're people that you're going to listen to, whether that's Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, whatever is out there that you enjoy. And there's plenty, as I said earlier. But really start to dial in to what that definition of success is and what that definition of success means to you and what that definition of success means to the people around you. So, and how that's going to affect them. I think for everybody, it's a different animal. So I think that it's going to be something that you're going to have to figure out. You know, you're going to have to dial in. And you're going to have to pursue it by all and any means necessary if it's going to make you happy. And everybody's different. Everybody's different. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to screw up. Don't be afraid to mess up. Have no fear of that. And just know where you're going all the time. Just know where you're going. Know where you're going and pursue it by any and all means necessary. So I wanted to take a minute to do this and explain to you guys, because having lunch, having dinner, spending time with some friends, and I've spent time with a lot of friends over the last few months. That's, and some of them have very large social media followings, and some of them, are just very normal people, like I said. And they're all normal, but some just aren't into it. And they have very different definitions and very different models of success. And it's crazy. It's an awesome study. It's an awesome study. But what that means to you and how hard you pursue it is what's going to define a lot of aspects of your life. And it's what's going to define a lot of aspects of you. So keep it in mind. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to push it. Don't be afraid to push that definition, a little bit more aggressively. Don't be afraid to push that that space. You might be surprised what you find. So to everybody out there in YouTube land, podcast land, whatever the social sphere is, work extremely hard at becoming not just a better person, but understanding where you're going, where you want to go, and that will always keep you hungry, that will always keep you motivated, that will always keep you dialed in. Things may change in the middle, variables may come and go, but if you're in that pursuit and you understand that pursuit, I promise you, in the end of it, you're going to go very far. You're going to go very far. And it's going to be a very, very cool, very fun journey. So I hope this hits home with everybody, and I hope everybody understands what it is I'm trying to impart upon you and what I'm trying to say. But everybody's going to have that different definition. Now, respecting everybody else's definition of success is the difficult part. That's where the haters come in. That's where the negativity comes in. So respecting everyone else's definition of what success is where the negativity will continue to come into your life and affect you, whether it's on social media, whether it's on different things. So you have to kind of keep that at a fever pitch. If somebody wants to go wrestle alligators for the rest of their life, be like, hey, good on you, bro. If that's what you want to do, have at it. See ya. If somebody wants to jump out of airplanes for the rest of their life, hey, that's awesome, man. Good for you. I will promise you, your path will be a lot smoother once you accept and respect everybody's definition of success. If people want to get on there and they want to spew hate and negativity and you don't want to be a part of it, don't hit follow. Don't hit like. Don't do it. You control that. Don't let that into your space. Don't allow it. Remove that shit. Remove it right away. I think it was Jay Cutler that said it the best. He said, people call me with their problems or their negativity, and I just hang up the phone on them. Now that's not being sometimes a good friend. I think there's limits to that. I think you have to be careful. But if you're pursuing something and you're trying to take it to a certain level, you're going to have to be prepared. to leave some people behind. You're going to have to be prepared to let some people go. If you're a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid, maybe even 15 to 21, take a good look around you. Chances are the people you're friends with right now, you won't be friends with in 5 years if you're an extremely ambitious person and you want to pursue things and you want to grow into things and you want to develop relationships and you want to develop friendships and you want to get out there. There's a pretty good chance you're going to go through a lot of evolving. There's a pretty good chance a lot is going to change. There's a very common and high divorce rate amongst friendships and amongst people that pursue certain levels of success, because you get so motivated and you get so, let's say, blindsided by it that becomes your supreme guide and your supreme focus. So understand that. But that's why the definition varies from person to person. It varies a lot. Okay? It's super scary. So if you're staring down the barrel of the next 10 years, you have to look at that. You have to look at it. So I hope this makes total sense to everybody. I hope everybody understands these principles. So if you want to go out and get a 4-hour work week, or you want to go out and get a normal job, or you want to go pump gas at a gas station, and that's your goal and that's what you want to pursue, then pursue it by any and all means necessary. Pursue it. And don't apologize for it. And don't feel like you have to apologize for it. I've made the mistake sometimes of letting other people's success plan get in my way. I've made that mistake. And I've made it, and I regret it. And you will have regrets. The idea in life is to live with none, but you will have some. You'll wish maybe you did things a little differently. You wish maybe you said something a little differently. You'll wish maybe you didn't let people in your circle that you let in that infected you for a while. Those things will happen. They will happen. You have to do your best to weed it out. You have to do your best to limit it. And it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. It's eye-opening. And it's very contemptuous. So I hope everybody crushes a good workout today, has a great time, has a great weekend, whatever it is, great week. I hope everybody pursues all the things that they want to pursue. And I hope you take a minute, whether you're sitting with a friend or having coffee or spending time with someone, to start to, conversate and think around that person's success plan and what your success plan is and whatever it is that you pursue. Okay? To me, the definition of success is setting small, attainable goals and achieving those goals over time that lead to a greater goal. And my goal has always been to pursue relationships, friendships, and interactions that I feel add value to my life. And then I figured all else good will come. That pursuit of those relationships has been paramount to me. And I love meeting new people, and I love hearing their story and spending time with them and interacting with them and getting to know what makes them tick and what makes them successful and what makes them feel the way that they feel, and that to me has been one of the most important pursuits of my life, being a relationship-driven person. So in the beginning, when I started out and I started to gain some prominence on social media and things like that, and people started to, what I call, pay attention, I didn't know really how it would all end or what some of the why was. But I just thought, gee, this is cool. It's success. Very cool. It's awesome to meet new folks. I thought, geez, this is awesome. I'm meeting new people. This is really cool. So, I thought that was something that was important to me. And I had a lot of people think I was crazy, whether it was because of walking away from a job or walking away from opportunity, which are all things that I've done. I've said no to more things than I've said yes to, for sure. For sure. So all those things came into play. And you'll go through them too, on a certain level. Even if your definition of success is working that, in many ways you'll go through it more if your definition of success is working an office job or pursuing an office job, because now that's become the new unnormal, what I call the new unnormal. And it's, people will look at you like, oh, that's what you want to do. So you have to kind of take a minute to understand that. And that's become like almost like, in our generation, we're going to see, as our generation starts to gravitate towards more leadership roles, not just in careers and in media and in so many other endeavors. Like in my line of work, I go up against people that they still want to buy print ads. I mean, who buys a magazine? I go up against people that, are spending other people's money in the most benign and crazy ways. But you see that it's very common. And that's why I did the post I did on Instagram, not Instagram, but on Netflix and cable TV being, especially cable TV being dead. If you take sports away from cable TV, but you see this. And you just have to say, hey, okay, all right, okay. If that's the pursuit of happiness, then by all means, awesome. Awesome. Good luck. Have at it. But do yourself a favor. Spend as much time as you can with friends, with family, with folks, and start to begin to understand what is the definition of success and what is the definition of succession and growth. And you're going to come up with a myriad of definitions. You're going to come up with a million of your own definitions. And that's fine. Find the one that makes you happiest and pursue it. And pursue the hell out of it. And in the end, hopefully you have a clearer understanding of what it is you want. Because that's what it's all about in life, what you want to get out of life. And what you want to get out of that pursuit. I'm going to have dinner with a friend tonight. A friend I haven't seen in a bit. And I did this podcast and I did this live a little early. And I want to, I'm going to talk with him. And I think at the end of the day, the conversation I'm going to have is going to center around what he's doing that's going to help him achieve his goal of success. So it's one of those things. I hope you guys take a minute to check out some of the links below. Check out some of the stuff that I have down below. Now, I have products from Onnit. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I have a whole bunch of things you can take a peek at and take a look into. If it's something that you want to partake in, if it's something that you want to participate in, I highly recommend you check out Onnit Nutrition. I highly recommend that you take a look at their products. It's something that I think is a phenomenal product. I definitely think you should check out some of the sponsors. Kenzies Optics, Riton Optics, Taurus USA, Crossbreed Holsters. Take a look at those guys. They're doing fantastic work. They're doing awesome stuff. I definitely think that they will give you a huge leg up, a huge boost. So take a look at them. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know if there's some sponsors you want to see involved in the show or who you'd like to see participate. So look into it. I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everybody participating. Thank you for everything. And thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this.